Welcome back to Pearl in Every Cowslip's Ear. This is CLE Language Arts 600, Book 2. It's raw footage right from the classroom. Hope you enjoy. Okay, Language Arts, 6th grade, lesson 1. What are the common coordinating conjunctions?
For, and, but, nor, yet, so.
Do we have or?
Are.
Okay. Great, you got them. A few more questions. What is a compound sentence?
Two sentences put together.
Two sentences put together. Okay, you can say that. A sentence with two or more clauses that could stand alone. The dog barked and the cat meowed. Those are two that can stand alone. Prepositions are always part of a prepositional phrase, and the last word of the prepositional phrase usually is the object of the preposition. What are coordinating conjunctions? We listed them. What do they do?
Connect sentences.
Connect.
Clauses.
How? Are the parts they connect equal? Is one more important than another?
No.
They're equal. They connect equal parts. The dog barked and the cat meowed. Versus, we'll learn later about this, before the storm, the cat meowed. And that's connecting. Before is not a coordinating conjunction, it's a subordinating conjunction. It's connecting in a different way. Coordinated conjunctions connect equal parts, join equal parts, words, phrases, or clauses. In the new lesson, comma rules. When to use commas. Now, comma rules is one of those things that there are so many comma rules. How do you know all the comma rules? Well, learn as many as you can, and then kind of feel the rest. If you can, just feel where they go. First of all, we always, where do you think a comma goes in the first sentence?
May 25, comma.
May 25, comma. And thankfully, we're kind of used to writing that. Today, September 25, comma, 2023. We're used to writing that. Where else? After 1901. We'll put a year. Anytime you see a year in a sentence, put a comma before and after it. We always kind of set off the year. And if you make sense then when you read it, on May 25, 1901, New York became the first state to require license plates. You kind of pause there. We don't say, on May 25, 1901, New York became the first state. It doesn't sound right. We have to put that little break in there. So that's where the comma goes. In dates, always set the year off with commas. Where does a comma go in this next one? This looks like an address, but we're just giving it not on an envelope, just normally like this, like an address. 356 Maple Avenue, Ashley, Ohio, 4303.
Comma, 3 after 3, 5, 6, not. No.
After Maple.
Maple Avenue,
And
Ashley, Ohio.
Okay, and here is a rule. Now, we do kind of pause. Well, I would say 356 Maple Avenue. That would kind of say all together. Ashley, Ohio, 43003. I kind of pause in here. So, but we don't put a comma in there. What to remember with these is never ever put the commas beside numbers. Okay? The number for the house number, don't put a comma beside that. And don't put a comma beside the number for the zip code. So no commas beside numbers and addresses. Otherwise everything needs commas in an address. Okay. Beyond that, the rest of the other places in the lesson where they talk about putting commas is more just to make it clear, like to make sure that Daryl doesn't get mowed up. Before mowing, Daryl checked the oil in the lawnmower. So you go before mowing, Daryl checked the oil in the lawnmower. If you don't put that comma in there, before mowing, Daryl checked the oil, you're saying, before mowing, Daryl checked the oil. We sang the song this morning and it said, and say when the death dew lies cold on my brow, my Jesus, I love thee. If ever I love thee, my Jesus 'tis now. And what does that song mean? I don't know. We need some commas. Is that song saying, and say, when the death dew? Because some people say like an interjection. Say, I never heard that. They might say something like that instead of while, they say. So it might say, and say, while the death dew lies cold on my brow, if ever I love thee, my Jesus 'tis now. Or it could be, and say, while the death dew lies cold on my brow, if ever I love thee, my Jesus 'tis now. I think that's what it's saying. But in the song, as it is in our book, there's no commas, there's no punctuation. We can't really tell what it's meaning. So put commas in to make the meaning clear so people that read can understand. Put commas in whenever you have words in series. Several words describing one thing. Sometimes. out on the deep blue sea. Should we put a comma in here or not? Now, you never put commas. You put commas between deep and blue. So we're talking about deep and blue versus the frightened, screaming child. You can listen. Do we say out on the deep blue sea? Do we just kind of read it very quickly? Or do we say out on the deep blue sea? So let's test. Let's test this one. The frightened, screaming child or the frightened, screaming child? Okay, these get hard to just hear them. And there's a rule. Don't put commas after words that say number, color, or size. So we could say, this is a color word right here. And we could say deep actually might be how size, the size is a deep. So no commas there. Are these saying number, color, or size? Frightened and screaming? No. So we'll put a comma there. So that's a way you can know for sure, number, color, or size. But another little test that you might want to use a lot is, can I move these adjectives? Can I say out on the blue deep sea? And does it still sound okay? Out on the blue deep sea. Doesn't sound very nice. Therefore, no commas needed. If you can move them, put a comma in. The screaming, frightened child. Okay, it sounds a little bit different, but it still makes sense. Since we can move them, we put a comma. These adjectives we can't move, therefore we'll keep the comma out, make it read nice and clear. Alright, I want to read your spelling words yet before I let you go. Just so that you know how they sound. They're on page 5. Alleys, anthems, apricots, attorneys, cemeteries, colonies, excuses, forties, kidneys, lobbies, lullabies, magazines, melodies, menus, ravines, rubies, runaways, sandwiches, strategies,